Hello from the dung heap, everybody. These are my friends. A lot of them.
Friends.
There he is. Hi, sweetie.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
And we're live. Hello. SPTV. Hello. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. Glad you're here. Hey, so here we are. What about 14 hours after Hurricane Milton struck large parts of Florida. And as far as I know, everyone that we know are okay. If you're in Florida or have loved ones in Florida and you can give us some type of update, that would be awesome. Just put comment, or if you have question, put question. And we got George Massey. Giorgio is in the back. Thank you, George. And just say a few greetings before we get into things here. Hey, Carrie J, our lawyer friend. Carrie, great to see you, friend. Brooke Elliott, thank you so much for being a member. We really appreciate this. Start this off with love for you, Marilyn. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. Giorgio, and we're live. Yes, we are. We got Eve May Karain. Hey there. And of course, our friend Asen. Love you. Glad you're here. And our friend Joel. Yay. I love it when all the regulars are here. We got Destiny. Destiny, great to see you, friend. Been a little while, I think. Vanessa Winbury. Hi there. Hi there. We got Half. Hey, hey. Hi, honey. Glad you're here. Anna from Canada. Do we have a joke already? I find the best way to keep the wolf from the door is to leave a sheep in the garden. Okay, yeah, I guess that would work. A little scary. Hey, Constance June, great to see you. Kate Delight, hey there. Kansas Esky Gal, hey there, friend. Great to see you. So great to see everybody, and hopefully giving people a time to come in. So yeah, hurricanes, pretty crazy, huh? There's lots of storms going on, literally and figuratively. And as usual, I like to just come on and talk to you all. And I focus a lot on cult recovery because that's what I'm going through. And it's something that I feel like I can share about. I'm not an expert, not a doctor, not a lawyer, not a physician, none of that stuff. But I just like to share my life with you. And, like I said, usually I come on here to talk about something that I'm teaching myself, that I'm learning for myself. So I hope that, you can get a little bit of a takeaway too. Kestrel, hey there. Great to see you. Kelly Copter. Hi, sweetie. Glad you're here. I'm just laughing because I just sent her a silly video, and I might talk about it later. We'll see. We'll see. We got Chaya Fabulous. We got flooded. My husband is moving furniture upstairs right now. I need a break from it. Oh, I'm so sorry. That is awful. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. Moving furniture. Yeah. I hope your furniture's in one piece and safe. Water damage is awful. So sorry. Yeah. Hey, Force of Delightful Nature. Great to see you. Carrie J, yesterday, yeah, it was a lot. It really was a lot. And, I've been kind of planning on talking about this concept of black and white thinking for a while. I have all kinds of things that I am planning on presenting, but I think it's a good time. I'm not here to trash anybody, to criticize people, to throw anybody under the bus, to make a public spectacle. I'm not here to do any of that. But I think it's important that when things happen, to be able to talk about some underlying issues and some things that, maybe are upsetting us. I don't want to, trash any other creators and really talk about specifics. I just want to tell you from where I'm coming from my heart and where I'm at now. So, hey, from Vermont. Hey, Piano Mom. We should meet up sometime. Maybe we can meet halfway. I think you're way up in the north, but we got another Vermonster in here. Kansas Esky Gal will be listening, making chicken wild rice soup. That sounds good. I love soup. I'm a sucker for soup. I really am. Oh, I think I got in trouble for this though. Thank you, Asen. I love Aaron. Shout out to you last night. That was very sweet. I appreciate that. And okay, I'll get into it. I would hope, and this is what I try to do as a friend of anyone, is to be objective and to be honest, and to be very supportive. And yeah, once I'm your friend, it's really hard to get rid of me. I've said this before, but I when I see something that maybe I feel like my friend's doing that could hurt them, or I have a suggestion of something that might make something better, like a charity, I try to approach it in the way of how would I want somebody to approach me with an idea, or to see me going off into left field or something, and how would I want to be talked to, and ultimately, I would want them to have respect for me, but I also would want them to be honest with me, And so, some things that I use is like, um, well, if I were you, or it like, oh, just a suggestion, but you might want to, do this, or have you thought about this angle, or, yeah, in a way of not being judgmental, and not being like, I can't believe blah, 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 So, or feeling like, oh, well, that person, just assuming that they're not going to listen to me anyway. So I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to say anything. And I mean, I would like to think, even with Aaron, I mean, we don't agree on everything, and I don't tell him what to do. He doesn't tell me what to do, but if there's something that I feel like maybe I can suggest something that would help, I do. And I would like to think that he respects me for that, whether I agree with him all the time or not. So, for anyone calling me, a robot, a flying monkey, a tat dog, or whatever, I mean, I know it's not true. I know it's not true. So, yeah, I think that being able to uh, just approach things from um, a balanced view, if I have a criticism for something, it doesn't mean I hate them. It doesn't mean I'm trying to rip them down. It doesn't mean that I am throwing them on the bad person pile, and this one's all good and this one's all bad. So, I'm getting into the black and white thinking. And I got a couple of visuals. I forgot to put the references in the description, but I will do that when I'm done. Let me write that down. So I really want to do that. I don't want to forget. References. Okay. And one, oddly enough, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, because I always say this when I'm looking things up, I often find things in the strangest places. And one thing I found about a nice article, I thought, about black and white thinking was on the WebMD site. And they get into like certain types of personality disorders and psychology and all that, which, I'm not going to get into that, but just a little bit of a like a capsulized explanation of it was really good. And then I will show you this first. This little visual that I found. Okay. And I'll read it to you. It's probably a little bit hard to see it. So this says, what is black and white thinking? Dichotomous thinking, also known as black or white thinking, is looking at life in absolutes or extremes, which contributes to interpersonal problems and to emotional and behavior instability. Many people experience dichotomous thinking sometimes, but it can be a problem when extreme conclusions about yourself, other people, or circumstances interfere with your emotional stability, relationships, and decisions. This extreme thinking can cause serious overreactions or emotional responses that may result in significant consequences if you tend to behave impulsively in response to your extreme feelings. Whether it's breaking off a relationship or poor work performance, dichotomous thinking can affect your quality of life. If most of your thoughts break down to black or white, or good or bad, all or nothing, then it's possible that you have a strong tendency towards dichotomous thinking. Dichotomous thinking can cause conflicts and agitation, disrupting your own inner sense of peace and disrupting peace between yourself and others. For example, you might frequently flip flop between seeing yourself as a remarkable success or a major failure based on the praise or criticism of others. This thought pattern is considered a cognitive distortion because it keeps us from seeing the world as it often is, complex, nuanced, and full of all the shades in between. 50 Shades of Grey. Not in that way, but yeah. An all or nothing mindset doesn't allow us to find the middle ground. It's hard to sustain life at those extremes. And I thought that was a good definition. And it is hard um, to function when you see life as extremes. And I was taught to in the cult, and even as a child, but mostly in the cult, that things were black and white. That they talk about, there's a scripture that says God would rather, basically I'm paraphrasing, but God would rather have you hot or cold, like talking about like a drink, right? You either want it hot or cold, lukewarm is blah, right? So it says God would rather have you hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, he will, Marlene used to say that, she really emphasizes, he will spew you out of his mouth. So either you had to be all the way for God, or all the way a heathen. So that's how I looked at the world, black and white. Like, is this person, are they godly? Are they a Christian in our sense, the whole extreme cult sense? And if not, it was kind of like throw them on the dung heap, they're on the dung heap. And so there was this whole thing set up where somebody was either good or bad, black or white. And it really colored my thinking and how I lived to and how I viewed myself. I was really, really hard on myself as well. Either I was in God slash Marlene's favor, or I wasn't. Either I was, on fire for God, they called it, or I was, cold. So I think I really did bring that into the real world when I got out of the cult. I remember working at when I worked up to retail management, and I remember thinking, like, when I made a mistake, it was like the end of the world, because I remember being just labeled like, "Oh, you're out of favor with God. Oh, you're the," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, okay, that doesn't that doesn't apply here in a corporate situation, And I think that there's a lesson to be learned when you think about these things, and I don't believe that it's a thing that's just applies to cult survivors. I think that many of us can be carried away by our emotions, by peer pressure, by wanting to feel like you belong, and compromising. And I don't want to do that. I also am not going to just throw somebody away because I don't like a few things that they do, or like if they haven't done anything to me, or if they're hurting somebody. Yeah, I will look at that and I will say something. But it's not all black and white. It just isn't. And that's kind of what my message is today. But let me read a little bit of this article as well. Some things will be repeated from what I already showed you, but I just thought it was a good article. So this is the one from WebMD. And I couldn't figure out how to make it so that advertisement goes away, that pops up, but you'll probably see it. So it's black and white thinking, medically reviewed by Smithia and I don't know. Anyways, yeah, her, an MD, written by MD editorial contributors. Okay. It says, what causes black and white thinking? Impact of black and white thinking. Change your outlook for your mental health. I'm not going to read the whole 4 minutes, but I'll read some of it. So it says, black and white thinking is a thought pattern that makes people think in absolutes. For instance, you may think you are either always right or the world's biggest failure. Psychologists consider this thought pattern to be a cognitive distortion because it keeps you from seeing life the way it really is, complex, uncertain, and constantly changing. Black and white thinking doesn't allow you to find the middle ground, which can be hard to sustain in life at those extremes. Becoming less rigid in our thinking lets us stop using all or nothing statements to depress ourselves without examining whether or not they're true. Using this quote cognitive technique helps you to spot what you're doing and challenge your false impressions. So there's some different disorders that they talk about, mental health disorders. And I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to diagnose anybody or going into that, but it is worth going back and reading. Impact of black and white thinking. Black and white thinking can have a very, very different effects on your mental health. Relationships. If you approach normal relationship conflicts with extreme black and white thinking, you'll often draw the wrong conclusions about other people and miss opportunities to talk things out and compromise. Examples may include suddenly moving people from the good person category to the bad person category, quitting a job or firing people, breaking up a relationship, avoiding a real resolution of the issues. Okay, here's other besides relationships. There's learning. Many courses have simple measurements of performance, pass or fail. This can lead students to believe that they are either good or bad at school with no room for a middle ground. Adopting a growth mindset can help students recognize the value in step-by-step progress as you get closer to the goal of mastering the subject. Career. Sometimes black and white thinking can cause you to become too rigid. This type of thinking can be a problem in work environments where there is a lot of collaboration and sharing of different ideas. Diet. If you think about what you eat in extremes, it could greatly restrict your diet and make it hard to try new things. This type of thinking may also cause you to see your physical appearance and body as only good or bad, which can be damaging to your mental health. Yeah. Okay. So this is, always come with a solution, right? Change your outlook for your mental health. If you want to think in black and white, if you want to think in black and white less, try these tips. Reframe your thinking. If you catch yourself jumping to extremes, try challenging yourself. Think about why you might be thinking the way you are and whether there is another viewpoint that you may not have considered. Watch your words. Black and white thinking. Words like always and never are signals to pay attention to. If you hear yourself saying things like that, remind yourself to replace it with different words like maybe or sometimes. Acceptance. If there is one constant in life, it's change. Try to be comfortable not knowing everything. It's okay to ask for more time to think about something or to say, I don't know. Cognitive behavior therapy. Many psychologists recommend something called cognitive behavior therapy, which can help you to overcome unhelpful thinking patterns. And then they go into what that is. So you can go back and read that. But I really liked a lot of this, but one thing that really stood out to me about the black and white thinking was the always and the never. And that's something that I learned in therapy. And I know many therapists talk about this and counselors about conflict resolution instead of saying things like, and I used to say it to Duncan, and he corrected me. I'm like, you know what, you're right. Like you, you always or you never. And I was like, and he's like, really? Do I always? Do I really always? Do I really never? And I'm thinking, no, no. And so, I learned that when you do this to Dunk, I would say, okay, when you do this, this is how I feel. And he's like, well, I don't mean to make you feel that way. And it's silly. I always bring up this this example. But like he's got two habits that drive me crazy, like tracking mud in the house for one thing. And also, because I would take it personally. I mop the floor and he just tracks mud in the house. And the way he looks at it, like he needs to come in and grab something or to go to the bathroom and taking, guys with their boots, right? He's got these Carhartt or whatever, Cabela, right? What do you call those? Sorels. And he's got these Sorels on. And so he doesn't want to, sit down and take them off, walk to the bathroom, come back out, blah, blah, blah. So I would take it personally. Like, I just mopped the floor and you don't care. You don't care about me, you know? And I would just assign all these evil motives on him, like with the wet dish hand towel next to this thing. Oh my God. I would have fits over that. And I still sometimes do at a weak moment, but I would assign these motives to him that like, well, you always do this and you never care and you just blah, blah, blah. And then I realized like, it's not all black and white. It's just he forgot, or, we haven't really worked out a good system yet, or, whatever. Like I need to think about where he's coming from. So, and I'm not saying, never put up boundaries. There's times when, I feel like I need to put up a boundary. I need to, kind of distance myself from somebody for a while or whatever. I've done it in this platform and very recently have done that. But, at the same time, I don't just throw the person on the dung heap, just think, oh, there's nothing redeemable about them. And anybody that's their friend, I'm going to call them out and not talk to them either, And I know how it feels and it doesn't feel fun. And I don't want to do that to anybody else. So I tend to be really hard on myself too. I remember messing up at a job and feeling like, oh God, how can I even go back tomorrow? I just feel because I had always been judged so harshly as a kid and even an adult that when I messed up, I just wanted to crawl under a rock because I was so afraid of just being completely, cast on the dung heap, as I say, cast out to the wolves and just discarded. And yeah, so it really does help me to kind of sit back and think about these things, and it's like it's not unique to me. I know I have very strong emotions. I am learning really the hard way to not always jump to conclusions or to what I the patterns that I'm used to living in. And yeah, I just thought maybe could help somebody else to talk about this as well. And I think that, seeing some extreme behavior, I'm not going to call anybody out, not judging people, but um, I can just speak for myself, is that I'm resisting the temptation I'm reading my notes a little bit, to be drawing battle lines, to burning bridges and all that. I don't want to burn bridges. It's hard not to sometimes. And I see a lot of, battle lines being drawn, and it's sad to me because um when you see someone that you really care about and that you thought was your friend just, you know, saying just extreme things even about you publicly, it's harmful. It really hurts. It really hurts. And then you see people that you thought were your friends in the chat being like, yeah, you tell them, and it's like this whole mob mentality. I guess that's the internet, and maybe I'm expecting too much, maybe I'm expecting like real relationships, which I have formed some real relationships. I have some really good friends. I'm looking at Giorgio right now. He's a really good friend. And we don't always agree on everything, we have our fun, right, George? He always pretending goes, okay, all right, calm the fuck down. But yeah, I think that feeling comfortable in a friendship is just knowing that someone has your best interest in mind, right? And they care about you even enough to tell you the truth. And yeah, there's so many nuances to relationships, to life. Um, there's there's levels of friendship, there's acquaintances, and there's, there's all kinds of beautiful colors in life, and many shades of gray, and colorful people and all kinds of experiences. So you're really missing out. I know I was missing out by seeing everything as black and white, and I was missing a whole spectrum. The whole rainbow. I talk about how I met people in the LGBTQ community, and when I threw off the whole judgmental mindset of my upbringing. And I was like, oh my God, like this is a whole new community that I just love. There's this great, there's so many amazing people that I would have just been like, nope, black and white thinking, nope, you know. And I not only did I do that to myself, but I did it to other people. And I don't want to do that. And I'm not perfect with considering all sides of something all the time, but I really do try to. And if I make a stand, it's because I believe that, not because anyone has pressured me to. You know, I think that people that know me or get to know me at one point realize it's pretty impossible to handle me. And sometimes I'll surprise people because I'll just be like, you know what? I know I said that yesterday, but I'm kind of looking at this angle and kind of feeling bad about that. And, I'm thinking out loud. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I really don't. I don't think there's anything wrong with considering all aspects of something and then thinking about it. So I'm way, 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 way behind, but just get Vanessa Winbury here for this. Black and white thinking is all we were allowed in Scientology. Absolutely. And we could argue whether it's a quote religion or not. I don't believe it's a religion, but they do have some aspects of extreme fundamental religion. So whatever it is, it's fundamental, right? It's black and white. It's you have to be true to what source says. And from what I can see of LRH's writings, there are some contradictions, which that sets up, the cognitive dissonance. But black and white thinking, yes, it's like LRH said it. It was from source, black and white. That's it. Piano Mom. Oh, they're an hour from me. All right. Well, email me. Maybe we can meet up. That would be awesome. That's very close because I got to drive an hour for almost everything, at least a half hour. So. Sharona. Hello, all back in Louisiana to care for my mom. Glad I could catch this live during some downtime. I'm glad you're here. One sec. I'm just going to do a quick Zena Marlene here. All right, Destiny. My sister-in-law passed a couple months ago, and we have took in her youngest adult daughter with autism. I can't join lives quite as often. Staying very busy. Love you though, and glad to be here. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm sorry about your sister-in-law, and that's amazing what you're doing with your niece. That's awesome. So, yeah. And it's okay, just pop in and check in and say hello whenever you can. I imagine you're very, very busy. Yes, hugs. So sorry for your loss. Yeah, definitely. Pause for Andrea. Comment. I understand that people should not be silenced, but at this point, each creator needs to focus on what they think best serves the cause and leave the toxic mudslinging behind. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. And I focus on recovery from, cults and black and white thinking, things like that. That's one of my focuses, but also, other cults, Scientology. I'm focusing on the elections right now. I've been watching some of the protesting. I'm not going to play favorites, but there's some that I love to watch. I'm mostly a lurker, but I like to, support what I can when I can. So yeah, I think just this focus on ripping people apart, it's not good. And it's making OSA happy, Scientology happy, not to mention all the trolls. I've seen them come out in pretty, pretty regularly to take sides of people that they were just making horrible videos about. So it's like strange bedfellows, that's all I'd say about that, but whatever. Asen, excuse me, Asen, to be honest, Aaron being blunt to people is unproblematic for me, or maybe the German in me speaking here. No need for sugarcoating. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I can be a little sensitive sometimes, but I do respect honesty. Definitely. Yes. Everybody's giving Destiny their best wishes. I love that. Hey, Susan P. Good to see you, friend. Glad you're here. All right, just going down the line here. Judy Chang, hey there. All I know for sure is my poor brain hurts. Oh, I know. I hear ya. I hear ya. Helicopter, a riddle. I feel like I'm talking to James Steele. What's black and white and red? READ, a newspaper. Do they still have newspapers in the UK? They still have them here. Yeah. Or is there another answer to that? I'm trying to remember. But I know it's a newspaper. He said, comment, same in Islam. If you are heathen, yep, you are doomed for hell. Damn, I'm doomed then. I know. It's like that's the other thing that really plagued me and freaked me out all my life is this idea of, God being in the sky with a hammer and just ready to pounce on you or throw lightning bolts at you if you even have a bad thought, So yeah, and I've been called a heathen many times. It always reminds me of this old show, this old sitcom, Sanford and Son, where Aunt Esther, she'd be like, Fred Sanford, you a heathen. I love that. My favorite line. And then he'd pick on her and she'd say, well, I never. And he'd say, I can see why not. Why don't you try putting a bag over your head next time? So they would go back and forth. It was funny back then, but now it probably wouldn't be. Hey, from another planet. Glad you're doing this live, Marilyn. So needed at this moment. Thank you. Glad to be here. Kelly, dad jokes are my favorite. I get side at so many times a day in real life. Yep. I love your jokes. So, Carrie J, comment. I have empathy for all cult survivors, but that doesn't mean I agree with everything each one does. Yep. Absolutely. Oh, if I did. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, I tried to call a truce with her, so I'm not going to belabor that, but yeah, I hear you. Having empathy for survivors is important. I agree. Comment, how can you tell if a joke is a dad joke? I don't know. I guess the litmus test would be if you told it to a teenager and they rolled their eyes, be like, "Oh my god, that's a dad joke." Yeah. I don't know. I think that would be the litmus test for me. Doug, hey Doug, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, well, nothing wrong with that, I don't think. Yeah. It activates the cringe nerve, but it's still funny. There you go. That makes sense. Vanessa, I had to mentally teach myself to use the word maybe after leaving Scientology. It's such a dirty word within the cult. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. For me, it was definitely true. Like I had a hard time like making decisions for myself because I was used to just going along with whatever my leaders would say. And I've gotten to the point where I'm able to just kind of say, well, maybe we'll see. We'll see. That's my favorite line now, even with my kids. I'm like, we'll see, because I do like to be a person of my word. And if I think I might not be able to carry that out, or I don't really have a stance on something because I don't have enough information, or maybe I've changed my mind, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah. Judy Chang, cognitive behavioral therapy helped me so much. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I don't think I've actually had that. I say I more had, like, counseling than therapy, but I did when I was in the foster home, when I was 16, I did have, hypnosis, like, from a therapist from she was a psychiatrist, and I think it helped. I think it really did too. She would kinda take me through it was more like deep breathing, and she would take me through, like, guided imagery, and, like, something you were afraid of. It's almost like a like lucid dreaming, but you're controlling it. You're not really sleeping, you know. But I think it helped me to really take control of things and kind of face them and not. I guess it's maybe auditing kind of stole that a little bit from psychology, but I've found that what they call, exposure therapy, I found that very helpful for me, and even in quitting smoking. I mean, I'll be honest, guys, I shared this last night. I quit smoking 4 months ago, and instead of using what I used to use was willpower, I was like, "Nope, I'm not gonna think about it," I just push it out of your mind, but if you're trying not to think about something, what are you gonna think about, Don't think about a pink elephant. What are you thinking about? Pink elephant. So it's like, don't think about smoking. Well, I'm gonna think about smoking. So now I've changed my thinking about it where, like, yesterday was I'll admit, it was rough. It was rough for me yesterday, and, I had a really super like strong urge after 4 months. This was probably one of the toughest cravings I've had, and to the point where I was, like, even mentally thinking of what if I grabbed the keys and went to the store, and then I took the keys and put them out of my sight, and then I told Duncan, I'm like, "All right, don't freak out, don't freak out, but I kinda wanna go to the store and grab a pack of cigarettes," and he just looks at me, and I like, "I know, I know, I know, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it," but I know that if I did, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I just don't want to, because I know that I'd just be right back where I am now. It's like, "Hey, I know I can't do that to myself, to my family, to" yeah, I just can't do it, even though I want to sometimes. So yeah, so we're talking about, different types of therapy and yeah. So, hey, Arkansas Flamingo just coming in. Hello, hello. Glad to see you. What? Yes, you are. Sometimes you're appropriate. Yeah, I mean, not it's not black and white, right? The inappropriate half sometimes is the appropriate half. I think you're appropriate most of the time. I lived with you for a week. Hey, Donna, good to see you. Hello, room. Hope all is well. I'm in lurk mood while feeling. Oh, I hope you feel better. Yeah, just relax and heal. Hey, Judy Chang, I get it. Rule house rules are shoes off, but sometimes my partner doesn't, and it makes me crazy. I know. Oh my god, with my kids, I had to stop doing this, but I would get in the car to go to work, I'd be, like, halfway there, I'd go to or, up the road, and I'd be running late, so I couldn't, just on time, right? So I couldn't it's not like I could go back and look for, what I needed. I get in, I go to my phone's running a little low because, like, for years, I had this phone that didn't, charge very well. So I go to plug my phone in and no charger, and then I go to play music on my phone, and I used to have this Bluetooth thing that kinda popped out of the lighter socket, gone. And oh my god, I would just lose it on my kids. I'd be texting them like, "You don't care about your mama, you just take all her stuff." And, and finally Carter, who's always the one to just be like, "Mom, listen, you know, don't take it personally, we're not out to get you. Yeah, that's a shitty thing to do, but, you know, I would just be, like, so extreme about it. And, yeah, I had to just kinda sit back and be like, "Okay, my kids love me, they're being selfish at the moment, they took my stuff, they should stop." But, I just got some every Christmas or birthday, I just gave them for Christmas and birthday, well, other things too, but in their stockings and stuff, new chargers and all that for their cars. So, Eve May? That's what I apologized to you earlier, Marilyn, because I came to realize my wise words weren't really wise words. Dismissive. No, I didn't feel that way, but thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, I thought they were wise words. Thank you, though. I'm open to input, definitely. Everybody sending hearts to George Massey and Ethan. Okay, that looks good. Hey, Powerlize Paralyzed. The Scientoverse is insane when you approach it with normal and reasonable expectations. Yeah, Nicole is really like that. Absolutely. And I'm really liking your study into the the human behavior of it all, the effects of Scientology. That's one of the things I'm really fascinated with, actually, is how your brain can be changed by some of these tactics and even what they call technology and Scientology. But yeah, it does the whole behavior, human behavior, and psychological effects of it all. I really like to learn about that. So, Powerlize. I don't know if you do interviews, but if you ever get to the point where you wanted to, I would love to have you on the channel. Hey, Sophia. Great is versatile and stunning. Yeah, absolutely. What? If you want to witness the getting me getting my just desserts, check out Triple C. Yeah, it's Coffee Cults and Crafts on Facebook. You can join. Vanessa, good to remember, hurt people hurt people. Lots of emotionally damaged people here due to subject matter, including this lady right here. Yeah, I hear you. And I'm not an ex-Scientologist, but I can relate. I can relate to a lot of the things, not everything, but in some way, I can definitely relate to having been brought up and a very abusive and fundamental, extreme atmosphere and way of thinking, and a lot of abuse, a lot of neglect. So yeah, I get it. I get it. Again, hurt people hurt people. I guess that's the theme. Thank you, Miriam. Try to understand everyone. It's definitely not black and white. Right. Yeah, they say you never know what people are going through, you know. Joel McCoyne, it took me many years to learn that all humans are imperfect. All too often, we speak out of anger, hurt, and fear. This almost always is a danger. You may hurt instead of informing. Think first. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's called emotional growth, and it's amazing. Yes, emotional growth is a good thing. Yeah. Joel McCoyne, eloquence in words. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Janet from Another Planet. I really appreciate the super sticker. It's very kind of you. All right, I'm going to put this up because it's not mentioning names. I feel like these reactions, i.e., the post and the long live stream, were frenetic and emotionally unregulated. I couldn't watch the entire live. Too much shouting and hurling hurtful accusations. Yeah, I feel the same way. Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, let's talk. You can send me an email at Coffee Cults and Crafts, or if you find me on Facebook, you can send me a message on there. It's under my name, Arkansas Flamingo. I see hurt souls that need grace to heal from that cult. They don't know how to move past conflict. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely learning. It's taken me a while to kind of sit back and realize that things, not everything is black and white. There's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of things that I haven't considered, and I don't necessarily have to. That's another thing too that I'm learning, is that I can be kind to myself and not push myself or let anyone else push me into choosing or coming to some conclusion, coming to their conclusion. Even when you see quote receipts, people will interpret receipts or emails or whatever. I mean, I don't like to see personal texts and stuff, but sometimes it happens. Um, it's really hard to judge, where someone's coming from, even by their words at times, because, especially with things like you don't know the tone that they're saying it in. So, yeah, or their motives or anything like that. Hey, Sophie, great to see you, friend. I'm glad that, these later ones I get to see you because it's probably still early morning in New Zealand. So, Kathy, 2 lives in a row. Yay, you get a seal clap for that. You're bright light. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Appreciate you very much. All right, I'm just gonna sorry, I'm just Asen, I must admit, I unsubscribed from a few people I care deeply for this week, but only because I don't want to see them hurt themselves. I still hope that they can heal and I can resubscribe one day. And that's a very balanced way to look at it. Yeah. You can, you can set a boundary for yourself and even, for the other person without just being like, oh, I'm throwing them away, and you're hoping to be able to feel comfortable resubscribing someday. It's totally fair. It's totally fair. Yeah. Janet from Another Planet, thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. Really appreciate that. Your voice is appreciated, Marilyn. Thank you so much. Eve May to Joel McCoy. Me too. By accepting other people not being perfect, I was able to accept that I'm not perfect either. Such a relief. That's right. Exactly. Pause for Andrea. The divergent thinking isn't the problem. If everyone is thinking one way, it's a cult. There you go. Or a faction. Share your experiences and carry on with what truly matters. Let go of toxicity, though. Yep. Very well said. Yeah, that's something that I considered really important when forming the board of directors and the nonprofit that I founded was having people from all different walks of life, different angles, and saying, "Hey, have you considered this?" Or "Hey, I have experience in this," or "I've seen that in the community," or "What about if this happens in the future? Are we going to be able to handle this?" And all different angles, and I really like that because I have kept a good working relationship and a professional relationship with my board members where, I've said this before, none of us are related. We don't go on cruises together. We're not super, super close. So I think it's been very healthy and very welcome to be able to consider other people's point of view. Definitely. And that's something that was not tolerated in my call. You all had to be in lockstep and think absolutely exactly the same. And that was actually part of the religion. Part of the whole group think was you are not in God's favor or God's will, and you are in rebellion. You're not under the umbrella of authority. If you have a different thought, that thought is not from God, because everyone else is walking in the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, having God thoughts, right? God is in their heart and talking to them. And so, oh, you got that revelation? Me too. The Lord speaking to you. The Lord spoke the same thing to me. But if I'm like, the Lord didn't speak that to me, it's like something wrong with me. No, it's bollocks, as my British friends would say. No, everybody has a right to think their own thoughts, whether, you believe in God or not. I think that everybody has a right to think, think your thoughts. Joel, if you are shouting, this is a clue. Often you are just being loud. This is reacting instead of acting. If you are trying to inform, this is not the way. You appear a fool often when shouting. Yeah, I agree. I find it triggering, and I even tell my friends, even when and Aaron has said this, that I'm not defending him because anytime I mention him, oh my God, you said his name, ugh, whatever. But He'll get excited about something, be like his voice will get louder and louder and louder, like, dude, I mean, I have a headache or I just woke up or like tone it down, calm down. And he just laughs and he calms down. So I'm not afraid to say that to him. Philosophy, it's like how Doug said he didn't even know what his favorite. I say that too. Yeah, I exactly. That was my experience too. We talked about that. High control groups do all your thinking for you. Yep. I couldn't I couldn't decide anything. Like I was afraid when people would ask me like what's your favorite food or what's your favorite color. Now I know I like purple, but yeah, I couldn't even think. Yeah. Hey, Gary Mackey, great to see you. Marilyn changing her mind, said no one ever. Hello to everyone. Hey there. I'm glad you're here, friend. Inappropriate have. Proud of you, Marilyn. I wish I could get to that point with nicotine. Well, you're not smoking, so I think it's definitely better to do what you're doing, vaping or whatever. I mean, it's probably, I don't know what the effects are, but nicotine itself, I just didn't want to go to something else because, yeah, I didn't want the dependency, but oh, yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but it's possible. It's possible. Oh, okay, we're 2 hours away from, oh, yeah, we could meet, maybe halfway. That would be awesome. Donna, Marilyn, I quit smoking 20 years ago. There are times I still want one, and my husband smokes. Oh, yeah. Well, good for you, though. That's amazing that you're able to be around it. Yeah. This is a good one. I like this. I'm a closet claustrophobic. Is that a dad joke? If you're like, oh my God, but it's really funny too. I guess that is a dad. Yeah, it's what still cringeworthy but funny. That's what Kelly said is the gauge for that, right? That's hilarious. Hey, Gabe, great to see you. Escaping the Cultiverse A. Check out her channel if you haven't already. I think the key here is keeping things professional and respectful. Yep. Still expressing your viewpoint. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's sometimes hard to learn, but yeah, I'm working on it. Working on it. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking about the trolls, but yeah, people who are exceptionally cruel to one creator and now their biggest fans. Funny how that works. Yeah, it's like whatever. I guess it's just good to not take too much stock in that because if you're being true to yourself and you are comfortable with how you feel and how you're conducting yourself, then who cares what they think, right? Arkansas Flamingo. Therapists are a gift from God. I had lots of it to get rid of black and white thinking. Yeah. No cult, but alcoholic diet. Yeah. And it's all very similar. Yeah. I think the recovery process is much the same as well. Yeah. Oh, I got in trouble with my grandmother for repeating a line between Fred and Esther. I know, it's just too good though. And I used to like sneak and watch it at my older sister's house. Yeah, she loved Sanford and Son. Kathy Mitchell, I'm overly touchy when it comes to confrontations, but I know I am, and so I work my way through it. Yeah, I cry when I'm happy, sad, mad, getting hugs from my loved ones, on and on. Oh, I can't really. Yeah, I can. That's me too. Absolutely. Rhodes says there are other cult survivors too than Scientology. You have a lot of empathy. Thank you. We'll see was always a no if it came from my ex. Yeah, that's not really fair. We'll see. I think to my kids, they saw it as an opportunity to convince me to a yes. And it worked sometimes. Probably a lot of times. Am I the only one imagining Duncan tackling Marilyn to the ground? He would never do that. No. I mean, Yeah, was very, very patient with me about it, and if I if I messed up and smoked a cigarette, he'd be disappointed and he'd be worried and sad, but, yeah, he's never laid a hand on me like that, but, yeah, it is a funny visual because I think if the tables were turned, I'd probably be tackling him. Yeah, that's funny. Sophie, I wrote a poem the other day, Black and White and Blind to the Technicolor. You wrote a poem? Oh my god. You wanna read it? You wanna send it to me or something? Let me know. Um, aw, thank you. And for appropriate have your kids are great. I'm so glad I got to meet them. Thank you, honey. They loved you. They loved you and Alan. And, I think the boys got to meet George. I don't know if you've met Haley yet. No? Not yet. Okay. Yeah, you gotta meet Haley. But, yeah, you met the boys. There we go. This is the good one. Tip, use tasteful words. You never know when you're going to have to eat them. Very good advice and it's still very punny, right? Hey, mama. Lots of love to you all who are hurting. Love you. Mama, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, Chad, hit the like button. Hey, Chad. Good to see you, friend. Yes, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that would be awesome. Or dislike or whatever. It all helps. All right, just going through my start here. Hey, Lady Pamela, I'm going through some tough stuff right now. I'm driving, but was hoping for good vibes to be sent my way if you could. Absolutely. You're sending lots of good vibes and prayers and anything, whatever you do, please send those towards Lady Pamela. Wish you the best. Hey, Tribite, good to see you. A lot of people in this community are deeply injured and used to being the only ones in their own corner. I'm sad to see people break apart, but it is part of healing. I'm here to support and love. That's awesome. Thank you for that. Road. I just feel that sometimes people use the fact that they grew up in Scientology as an excuse for bad behavior, and I don't agree with that. And yeah, agreed, agreed. And it's not only ex-Scientologists that do that, as you know, a lot of people do that. I yeah, I came to the point where this was years ago that I wasn't going to use my past to justify my actions, and I really try not to do that because I saw people in an extreme form being like and I remember somebody especially that was in the cult that I was in, and she would just say like, oh, I was abandoned as a child, or oh, this happened to me, that happened to me, and just be very what do you call it, like entitled. And basically it was okay to abuse people because that's why she did it, because she was abused. And I've heard hurt people. It's right, it's true that they do. Not okay that they do, but it is true. So I mean, I always boil it down to like, well, a shitty past doesn't give you an excuse to be a shitty person. So that's what I tell myself. It's like, okay, yeah, this happened to me, but I'm going to try to uh be a good person in spite of it, because I know what it feels like to be treated badly, you know? Hey, pause for Andrea. Thank you as always for this, Marilyn. I appreciate how you have thoughtful words that could help resolve, at least improve the conflicts. I have to catch the rest on replay. See you later. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate that. I try. I'm not good at it. I get very up in my feels. I was, upset last night, but it's just time to move on, right? At some point, time to move on. Hey, Destiny, thank you so much. A dad joke should be a parent. Yeah, wink. That's right. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Road, thank you so much for the super sticker. Very, very appreciated. any support for the channel is just, I love it. Thank you so much. And, every little penny counts. I really appreciate it. Uh, Vanessa says, sorry for what you had to deal with. I have several relationships with addicts. I've had several relationships with addicts, but growing up under one must have been intense. Hugs to Arkansas Flamingo. Yeah. So sorry. Vanessa, I smoked for 19 years from age 14 to 33 and quit cold turkey. My husband still smokes, and now the only time I miss it is the excuse to take a smoke break and get some space. Yeah. Yeah. I, yeah, I did look forward to cigarettes sometimes, but, um, yeah, I think for me, it's like there's no such thing as one, although I wish there was. But yeah, I feel like, well, if I did it now, then I mean, I guess it would be undoing the 4 months that I went without any nicotine. I think if I did, it wouldn't be like a nicotine gum or a vape or anything. I'd have an actual cigarette, which probably would reek. It would make my fingers reek. It would make my clothes reek, my hair reek, everything reek, and it's dirty and all that. But hey, I did it for, well, 5 years and then 10 years. But yeah, I do miss it sometimes. But I am really trying to hold the line on it. You know? F says, everyone acts out in anger from time to time, but some never apologize for it. Acknowledging your mistakes is the only way to move forward and improve them. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely done that many times, but with my kids is acknowledging, my mistakes, and I might make them again. I probably will. But being open, yeah, to saying you're sorry. And it is, it's hard to be vulnerable sometimes. Yeah. Sophie says, yes, think for yourself. That's why I don't let anyone tell me what to believe. If someone is claiming to be the source of truth, then I'm like, nah, right. And that's very culty. Yeah. Uh, Having the only way, right? Anna from Canada, I love your videos and your chat. I listen when working, but I'm here. I'm so glad you're here. I appreciate you, Marilyn, and your kind cubs. Thanks. You have helped me more than you know. I really appreciate that, Anna. I'm really glad you're here. I mean that. Yeah. Lady Pamela, it's terrible crying in a store so much. Thanks. You helped me through it. Yeah. Well, sending lots of love. Definitely. What's an Irish cocktail? A pint of Guinness with a potato. Oh boy. Yeah, I guess I could see that. Oh my God, Nancy. Thank you so much. Still clap. Thank you so much. 10 for gifting 10 memberships. If you got a membership, please say thank you to our friend Nancy. And I really, really appreciate your support. More than you know, really. And yeah, for what it's worth, I'll sing a really, really bad off tune rendition of It's Raining Cups. Hallelujah. It's raining cups. Amen. There you go. Whether you want it or not. But thanks. I really, really appreciate that. Doug says, I never smoked, but my parents did enough smoking for me. They smoked in the house and car. My high school football coach accused me of smoking because my clothes smelled like it. Yeah. Oh, that's rough. I'm sorry for that. And yeah, secondhand smoke is no joke either. And that was another reason why I was really motivated to quit, because even though I never smoked in the house, sometimes I'd smoke in the car with Duncan in it. I always felt guilty because he actually twice in his life he had a collapsed lung. So I don't want to hurt him or whatever in any way. Not just that, but and he would come out and sit with me on the porch, and he was really like to be sit on the porch, and I always was careful not to blow it in his direction, but I know he probably smelled like smoke too. So I feel bad for that. Yeah. Says Marilyn, you need to crochet running with potato balls, a fake Space Navy hat, so we can call I love that. Okay, we gotta work on that. That's hilarious. I'm already thinking about that. How we would do that. Love it, love it. Asen, I totally understand people lashing out right now are injured people. That doesn't mean you should accept their abusive behavior towards you. Setting boundaries is healthy and not a rejection. Yeah, I hear you. Vanessa, I'll admit it's taking me years and years since leaving Scientology to heal enough to establish some boundaries, and only the basic at that. Yeah, I struggle keeping those boundaries in place too. Yeah, totally hear you on that. And don't feel bad for it taking years and years, because it took me a good 10 years to really come to terms with what happened to me, to understand it a little more, and to really start dealing with some things and healing. So I totally get it. Vanessa, I'll say there's a book that helped me so much in terms of relationships and boundaries. Melody Beattie's Codependent No More. Sounds good. Changed my outlook so much, plus a great synopsis of the grief stages. Awesome. So it's Codependent No More. So look that up. Thank you. Joel, I watched some of the stream of the anger that has been referred to. This comes to mind. If you feel that you are 100% right, others are 100% wrong, you should step back, seek help. Red flag. I hear you. Rhodes says, some I have really cared about and who have been very reflective about the conflicts in the past year on YouTube seem to have been influenced by others in a more negative way, and that's sad to see. Yeah. Yeah, and I understand. It's like, just having compassion on people that feel very torn, because I feel very torn at times, and giving people the space and the grace, kind of hate to use that word because it's been so misused in my past, but getting to learn that it's not a bad word, it's not a dirty word. To me, it does make sense, and to give people space and compassion. I get it. That's what she said. It reminds me of my boys. They're in their 20s now, but they were teenagers. I was like, that's what she said. Marilyn, you said things perfectly. I hope others are listening. Thank you. Appreciate that. Clearwater Chad, just a heads up. That was not me in your comments a few minutes ago. Someone copied my name and profile pic. What? So hopefully they didn't say anything bad. No, I don't think they said anything bad. Oh my God. Well, okay. We'll have to fix that. I did that with Aaron by giving him a wrench. If you want me to do that, I can do that. But yeah, I want to know that it's really you. Damn, that sucks. Hey, Coltsby Colton. Hey, sweetie. Been a while. You still have a wrench? Good. I didn't want to take that away. I miss you. Well, anytime, no pressure. No pressure, but so good to see you. Dr. MLS, did you ever cook me must brisket? Not yet. I've got to send that to Haley. See if we can cook that together. But we had planned on it, and then she had some time off because she had a switch in jobs, and then she got hired at another place right away. So yeah, we'll have to reschedule that. Vanessa Flamingo, I had to keep an emergency cigarette in my purse for about a year after I quit, and would have realistic dreams that I had one where I woke up in panic. Yeah, I do that too. Like I'll like have a dream that I smoked, and I'll wake up like all upset, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it was just a dream, Yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to mess up. Oh, they did sometimes. Not like religiously, but they did watch. I know they saw episodes of it. I don't think I've ever watched it, but that's what she said. Jokes plenty there. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, they used to quote it sometimes, so yeah. Um, My Sharona, concentrating on how you want to quote fix someone else is exhausting. Using someone's faults to bash them, especially when recruiting others to do it, is abhorrent. We need to work on ourselves first. Yeah, amen to that. Absolutely. And just because I refuse to take sides or to trash one side and go to the other or vice versa, um, doesn't mean that I sign off on every bit of behavior that that person does, on either side. So, yeah, if it makes me seem wishy-washy or weak or anything, let me tell you, in my opinion, and you guys can tell me how you feel about this. Um, Not to get emotional, but I feel like it takes a lot of fucking strength. I feel like it takes a lot of strength to hold the line and to step back and be like, I'm not going to choose sides than it does to just grab my fucking pitchfork and choose a side and get in there and join the mob because I'll get lots of love bombing there. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I've said this before. If someone forces me to choose, they've made the choice for me. So I really hope that's not the case. I really hope it's not. Sorry to get a little spicy for a second, but yeah, I feel very strongly about that. Force of Delightful Nature, thanks for this conversation. You and everyone are helping me reflect on my thoughts on the matter. I'm trying to have a balanced and nuanced perspective. Very great way to put it. Yep, balanced and nuanced. Absolutely. Hey, sweetie, good to see you. Keela, love you. Sending you. I'm glad the hurricane didn't go in your direction this time. I'm still working from yesterday, so just have time to jump in. I want to tell you I love you. I love you too, honey. And please take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see your comment. I'm sorry. I'm probably making you no. Since you skipped my comments, I didn't mean to hurt you in any way. I feel you're valuable with your channel. Thank you, Selma. No, I'm sorry. I didn't see your comments. I'm actually only in the start right now, so there's hundreds of comments I haven't seen yet. So I'm back at 2:00. Let me fly through some of these. No, I mean, as long as there's some things that I did skip, I don't recall skipping any of yours. Some of them are similar, so and a lot of really long comments, I have a hard time. Not that yours was long, but I didn't see it. But I have a hard time reading a lot sometimes. I'm trying. It's trying to grow and like face my fears, and this has been a crazy experiment for me to be able to be on camera almost every day or most days and reading things to you. It's been really hard, but I think I've had some growth, and I don't know, it's been better. It's been better. Hey, Don Gloves, great to see you. Hello there. So glad you're here. Just going down the line. I think I read a lot of these, so I'm just looking for people I haven't seen in a little while. All right. Yes, Paralyzed does great videos, absolutely. I'll have to go back and watch the ones I missed. All right. Sorry, I'm just scrolling, trying to catch up. Okay. Oh, I guess I'm started. Okay, let me go to those. Oh my God, Nancy, thank you so much. I really appreciate all your support. That's such a great line, Marilyn. If someone forces you to choose, they've made the decision for you. You're wonderful. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you. And thank you for that enormous super chat. I really, really appreciate that. And yeah, I feel like I've learned from you all, and I love to be able to come out and just kind of bounce things off of you. And there's so much wisdom in this space, in this community. And yeah, I like to talk about it. Oh, you can blame George for the skip comment. That's okay. There are so many. There's hundreds and hundreds of comments. So you're doing a great job. Thank you. Yep, nothing personal at all. Doug, I've turned my back on those who spread hate on here. I don't have tolerance for it anymore. Marilyn, you always see things in a fair, logical way, and please don't get upset. You're a good person. Thank you. And I never really consider myself logical. I always try to be fair, but I'm so I don't make a very good Vulcan. I'm out of my Vulcan mind because I tend to be a little more on the excitable, emotional side. So yeah, instead of stuffing things, just kind of sitting back, again, not having extremes, right? Not just exploding in your emotions and just letting that govern you, but also not stuffing things down and not talking about things as well, which, I've been criticized for talking about things. Oh, sorry, I was just trying to unstar that. So I'm seeing Chad. Oh, he was in the Chris Shelton chat apologizing to him, which is definitely not me. That's funny. Chad, Clearwater Chad imitation. Chad, right? And Clearwater Chad was a parody on the whole Tampa Brad thing. I wonder how Tampa Brad's doing. I hope he's okay. And all the psychologists, yeah. Just going down the line here. The cheeky smile when you're thinking about making another right. I'm just kind of in my head, just like envisioning what I would do. Yeah. Hmm. All right, I got one starred. Oh, we've got even Vladimir Putin is offering some wisdom today. Maryland's strength is coming from resilience. Every challenge makes you harder like iron. Stay focused and you will overcome all. Your will is your power. Thank you, Vladimir Putin. It's funny the people that pop up in my stream. Wow. All right. So I'm back about 6 minutes. So I'm going to keep going down the line. Everyone saying hi to Keela. Okay. I'm going to put this up. Never in SP. Because, they subscribed and waited 5 minutes to be able to write this. So I'm going to address it. Long time lurker. It seems really odd to me that you always spout. Okay. Strong word. You always spout that you love the second gens, but when they bare their heart and soul, you don't even take a second to think that it could be true. Number one, I mean, you don't know me. You don't know what I'm thinking, what I do, what I take a second to think about. I've taken many seconds to think about it. And I'm not saying what they're saying is not true to them, or even in general, or even true. So, yeah, bearing your heart and soul is not a bad thing. Attacking people maliciously and calling me out for something that I didn't do. Yeah, that's where I draw the line and I put up boundaries. And I do care about them. I do love them. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with them all the time. So, yeah, but thank you. Thank you for that. Chatto. All good with you in Florida, Chatto? Yeah. Clearwater? Yeah. Yeah, good for you, Marilyn. It shouldn't be sides anyways. Right. Yeah. And I do love the second gens and I am on their side. I want all of them to win, right? To win their anything, like be successful and happy and to win this battle against this damn cult and to get their family out if their family's still in and all the things. Yeah. All the things. Mm. Yeah, Gabby. Yeah, Gabe is as an ex-cult member, it's hard not to see things in black and white. Yeah. I fight the cult mentality all the time. And thanks for being honest. That's definitely my experience as well. Yeah. And it's, what they say, what the first step to healing is to see that you have a problem, admit that you have a problem. It's like, okay, well, now I see it. Now that I can see that I'm looking in black and white, then I start to make you know, strides to turn it around, you know? Yeah. Tampa Brad, yeah. That's funny. Marilyn loves White Russians. I do. Anything with Kahlua or Irish cream or anything like that. I love mudslides. Yeah. Don't have them very often. I tend to, if I'm in the mood for, a stronger drink, I'll have like a Bloody Mary's pretty figure friendly, I guess. I do love a Mai Tai. Yeah. We've been talking a lot about cocktails later or lately. Sorry. Sherry, my brother has a video audio business in Tampa. I hope he's okay. Yes. Good vibes, best wishes, everyone. Lauren says, it's a feeling if you pick a side, you get attacked. If you don't pick sides, you get attacked, which is so bad. Yep. Yep. I can relate to that. That's for sure. Hef, you can bare your soul without name calling and screaming and yelling and being unhinged, period. Not going to argue with that. That's true. Hey, Lathonda, great to see you, friend. For me, a dark red flag is screaming and diagnosing someone without being a healthcare professional. Yeah, it's true. Cricket Cinema, I've noticed a level of absolute glee in chats watching controversial streams like the pain is entertaining and fun. It's gross. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the whole like mob mentality and yeah, I mean, I was watching today and saw, people calling me names, tack dog, things like that. And yeah, it's funny to some people, but it didn't feel fun at the moment. That's for sure. Asen, the song Vicarious by Tool reminds me so much of the people who sit in the chats and fan the flames. The lyrics are very fitting. I'll have to check that out. That sounds I've never heard that, but definitely want to check that out. Popcorn Piggies, Cricket Cinema, that's why I've left for now. That's what a lot of people are saying. Yeah, and I think that's healthy to just kind of remove yourself from it. Definitely. And unfortunately, I really hope that this doesn't continue, but it seems like a lot of people are leaving the space altogether, and which is unfortunate because, I want to see support for this movement because we want, first and foremost, to see Scientology stop abusing people and hopefully lose their tax exempt status in the US. Definitely. Julia de Villiers, hey there. Some people are just attacking all the time. So sad for them because they do not know what to do with their feelings. It does not belong on a public platform. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, there's one thing if excuse me, if it's constructive criticism or, things like directly to, like the various charities or things like that, I totally get it. But when you're talking about private text, interpersonal relationships, relationships that span, decades, and then, you're friends with somebody for all this time, you like them, you're good friends with them, and then you have a falling out, should you bring it out in the public and then expect people to take sides? Um, we don't have all the information. We don't have that history. And the thing is, like, wait a minute, you were just friends with them last week, or you were just friends with her 2 weeks ago, or you guys, grew up together or you have a bond and then all of a sudden it's cut. And so it's like, well, wait, you just like them. Now you don't and now I can't? Like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel right at all. So, uh, Lydia, hey there. Good to see you, friend. There are people being really reasonable in the chat and the chat attacks them while calling other people attack dogs. Yeah, I'm done. I think I made one comment and then just got out of there. And I'm not even going to do that anymore, honestly. Please give a big thank you to our super mod, George Massey. Yes, he gets a silk clap. He's my hero. Yes, he is. He's a good one. He's a good one. Thank you, George, for all you do. Appreciate it. Arkansas Flamingo. Oh, he's still clapping too. Awesome. See you later, Flamingo. Ta-ta for now. Mustache, as Natalie says, you do you, and you do you very well, Marilyn. Thank you. I appreciate that. Philosophy, I'm not picking a side, but it sucks to feel you can't say what you think because people will attack you in comments. It's gang mentality. Yeah. And I think, when you care about both people that are having, conflicts with each other and you're caring about each one of them, I'm not assigning blame to one person or the other, 100% blame. It takes two as a my parents used to say. And I'm not saying that person's bad, if I'm seeing some unhealthy behavior that I can't sign off on, it doesn't mean I'm labeling them a terrible person. It's just, yeah, that's not healthy. I can't support that behavior, not necessarily the person, you know. Yeah, bye, Flamingo. Yes, George is the best. Yeah. Okay. Marilyn rocking out some Tool. Okay, I can handle it if it must be heavy metal. That would definitely approve. Okay. In that case, I definitely will check it out. Cricket Cinema. Even healthcare professionals can't diagnose somebody that they've never met. Yeah. If they do diagnose somebody, they're not allowed to talk about it. So they should be no YouTube diagnosis. Yes. I agree. I've heard, what's his name? I'm subscribed to him. The guy that does there's a lot of them that do that, but he's got a lot of followers. It'll come to me probably, hopefully. But yeah, they always say like I'm not here to diagnose that person, and a lot of times, they could be passed away, like something like Charles Manson, but it's like I'm not diagnosing, but I'm just saying this is could what could be the case given the circumstances. So yeah, I've seen that. So. Selma comment, a decades-long friendship doesn't have to mean that it was a healthy friendship. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I agree with that. And I see what you're saying. But at the same time, to expect someone else to abandon a relationship that you had for a long, long time, there must have been some reason. I mean, people do stay in abusive relationships or bad friendships, which isn't good. So I'm not saying that they didn't have a bad experience. I'm just saying to expect someone else to cut off a relationship just because you did. I don't think that's very fair. That's it, Dr. Grande. Yes, that's who I was talking about. Yes, I could not remember his name. Yeah, Dr. Grande. Yeah, I love him. All right, I'm almost to the end. I should wind down soon. Amber, the day I had to go to the hospital and have a bunch of shock pads put on my chest because your heart isn't beating correctly is when you think I'm going to be better and be positive. Yeah, it definitely can affect your health. 100%. Constance June, hey there. I had someone give me a medical diagnosis for myself in a chat just for asking for. Oh, I had someone give me a medical diagnosis. Just for asking for clarification. Yeah, that's not that's not good. Hey, Nancy, question. Marilyn, when you left your cult, did you find that you, quote, let go of all friendships or did you attempt to keep some? Um, I did attempt to keep some, and those that were still in the cult, um, it was probably similar to what they do in Scientology is you can leave as long as you don't, say anything or you don't criticize. Like I had some issues and for example, I was really good friends with Marlene's niece and I still have somewhat of a connection through all my son's, friends with this niece of Marlene's, and, it was really hard to let go of that friendship because she wasn't budging and I wasn't budging, and they were trying to get me back in, or they were trying to handle me, and then it was more like I only heard from her when someone died, like in my family, like my sister passed away, or my adoptive father passed away, or my father-in-law, and she would call me and it was like, "What a shame. They were so young." Or what is oh, well, and I was like, "Is she calling me because she cares or is she calling me because she wants to remind me that bad things are happening to me because I left the cult? I'm losing people because I left the cult." And that was very much their thing. They didn't call it pulled it in, but it was to where I still cared about her. I missed her, but and she kind of felt the same way, I think. It was like she's not a bad person, but she we just really didn't have any common ground anymore. So that's a good question though. Thank you for that. And there's been times when I've talked to some of them and if they're out, we usually are able to talk a lot more because we have something to relate to each other about, but a lot of them really scattered. I mean, I'm Duncan and I are the only ones that actually left the cult and still live within a 5-mile radius of it. Most of them just got out of Dodge, and I tell you, I don't blame them. I don't blame them because it has not been easy. Yeah. Hey, Yadira. Great to see you, friend. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Ethan, sometimes you have to accept you and others are not on the same level of healing. I first was upset that my siblings decided to still have contact to our abusive mother. You got a second part? And then I realized my reality and my progress is not theirs. Right. They experienced her in a different way. They are on another path or come to different results or all of the above. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's not a slight to you that they, decided, right? And that's a really good point to bring up is that just because like if I have a falling out with someone and we have mutual friends still that aren't going to take sides, I need to accept that because that's not their battle, and I've felt put in the middle of other things that if the behavior was just completely unacceptable, I'm not going to excuse that in a friend that has hurt another one of my friends, you know, if that makes any sense. I know what I'm saying, but I'm just having a hard time actually expressing it. So, oh, hey, that's what she said. Thank you so much for joining. Really, don't mind my silk laps, but thank you so much. I got a new cub. I love it. Thank you very much. Comment, I was mainly upset that I can't protect them from her abuses. They're adults and decide to take it. Yeah, I hear you. Yep, and I guess all you can be is, yourself and true to yourself and set an example, right? And then be there if they need you. That's, all you can do, I guess. But Tony, thank you so much for the super chat. Love your voice of reason and love your heart, and I really appreciate that, and thank you so much for everything and for support. Hey, Selma, I am now realizing I am very much about having grace for and holding space for others. I always try to look at the whole context, and I guess all the emotions don't trigger me as much as others I'm reading. And that's great. That's a great way to look at it, and it's very fair that some people are from different backgrounds, and some things trigger others more. Things trigger them more than others, and that's good that you have that ability to probably have exposure to things that others don't feel comfortable doing because of their past, because of their triggers. And yeah, that's also there was a situation in this space this week where I was triggered. I was afraid of somebody not being safe, and maybe I overreacted. I don't know, but it was really dialed back the next day, and I just said, okay, well, I'll take that for what it's worth, at face value. And my own reaction was my own reaction because I was triggered because of my past. I had like some actual flashbacks in my mind, back of my mind, not actual flashbacks where I'm seeing things. But yeah, I was triggered. So that's a good point. Just knowing your triggers and being able to not expose yourself to things, and also knowing that you don't have that trigger and you're able to. And that's great. That's very fair. All right. George Massey, have you ever experienced deja vu? Like an overwhelming sensation of, I've seen this crap before. Yep. Yep. Been there, done that. That's for sure. Yeah. Selma, you were triggered by that. Yeah. See, we all have our different triggers, and that scared me. It really did. Okay, everyone. Oh, we've been going for over an hour and a half, and it's been great. So good to talk to you all. It's today Thursday. Yeah, so I'll probably be on over the weekend. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great day, and thanks for being here. Bye. Zenu, Marlene, everybody partake. Cheers. This is good coffee. This is why, my hubby makes the coffee.